All right. Hello, YouTube and Twitch. We are doing the do-over for the Sewn Adaptive Bomber, making it super beginner friendly and really easy for beginners to understand. So when we did it last week, we had some issues, and my student Matt um, was frustrated, and he wanted a much easier way to do the welt pocket. So I changed some things, and I'm going to show you what I changed, and we're going to make the new one. So that's last week's version, and we're going to make another one today with the easier method for beginners for the welt pocket. So I changed a couple of things. So the first thing you have to do is take your welt template, which looks like this, the 6-inch box, and the X's that you see is where the template originally was. This is what you were supposed to cut out. I added a 1/2 inch to each side. So this is the X's is where the template originally stopped, but I added, hey YouTube, I added a 1/2 inch on each side to make it easier for beginners. Again, this is the Sewn Adaptive Bomber pattern. And like I said, I have changed a few things because Matt was a little frustrated last week and wanted a much easier way to do the welt pocket. So I changed, those of you just tuning in, I changed some things to the Sewn Adaptive welt pieces to make it much easier for a beginner to create. So the 6-inch box template, hey Twitch, hey YouTube, the 6-inch box template for the Sewn Adaptive pattern, I added an inch to 1/2 inch. I added a 1/2 inch to each side. So these X's here represent where the original template stopped. Okay. I added 1/2 inch on each side. Then on the welt piece, this piece number 5, I took off 1 1/8. So I folded back 1 1/8 because I simply want the welt to really match the length that I did. I didn't want the extra um, length because Matt didn't like it. And so I did it this way to make it a little bit easier. So I took 1 1/8 off this pattern piece, just folded it back 1 1/8. And so this is now going to match perfectly up to our template. I did the same thing with the pocket piece because I want the pocket piece really to be able to just match right up to the edge of our template. So we're going down that little dotted line. I just wanted it to pretty much match right up to the edge of the template. So I took off the excess, and you see it here. I just folded this little piece here back and took that side off, and this is what we have. So I took this much off of the pocket bag. I extended this box template a 1/2 inch on each side. Those X's represent where it originally stopped. I extended it a 1/2 inch, and then I took 1 1/8 off the back of this particular template for the welt. So let me show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. So instead of having the welt and the 2 welt facings and the pocket linings, all we're going to use is the welt and the pocket lining. That's it. Okay. So here's the back, pocket bag on the back. Here's the front. We're just using the welt piece and the pocket lining. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the other side. Again, this was so it would be easier for a beginner to understand how to do it and feel comfortable doing it. Matt wanted an easier way to do it. And so This is what I came up with. So the front piece, you've got to, put your dots and make your welt placement originally. So that's on the front piece. And then this is what I did for the welt. The new way. This is the new way. All right. So I took that template that I extended and I placed it. So my dots were here. I placed it along the edge of my dots. And then I traced out, pinned it in place, and I went ahead and traced out the entire box, put dashes in the middle so I know where to place my welt and where to put my pocket lining, right? These little dashes here tell me where I'm going to turn. So when I sew my box, these little dashes kind of tell me where I'm going to turn, just a little marker to help me know when I want to turn. My welt piece is here, okay? And we are going to top and we're going to put our pocket bags on top as well. We're not going to put the pocket bags on the bottom like the pattern tells us. We're going to put the pocket bags on the top. And again, this is just another way, when you're sewing, there's like 100 different ways to do something. So this is just another way to do the welt pocket for the Sewn Adaptive Bomber. And it is an easier way for beginners who are new to welt pockets, learning to do welt pockets, and kind of are intimidated by the welt pocket doing it, or just want an easier way to do it. So that is what this is. Okay, let me make sure I have the instructions in the background for the rest of it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with putting together the actual jacket in the way that I am doing it for Matt to make it easier. You have your armhole. So your armhole is here. So whichever side you are working on, you want the folded edge of your welt. So your welt piece starts out like this, okay? And then you fold it in half. This is simply this piece right here. Starts out like this. Then you're going to fold it in half. Fold it in half and give it a press. Whatever side your armhole is on, you want the raw edge facing the armhole, the raw edge of the welt, because what happens is, as we have it here and sew it down, when we turn everything inside out, it will turn this way. Okay? So you want the raw edges of your welt facing up, or down, rather, down towards your sleeve. You want that folded edge facing towards the center so that when we turn everything to the inside, the pocket sits this way, and this is how your hand gets in. Remember, your hand is coming in from the arm side. So, and I'm using a much thicker fabric this time. So I'm lining my welt right up on that, right up on the dotted line, center dotted line, right? Then on your pocket bags, you are going to 1/4 of an inch away. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to make a line 1/4 of an inch away from the raw edge on both. Whoops, did I lose it? Got it. On both pieces. 1/4 of an inch from the raw edge, right? Your pocket bag is going to end up sitting this way. Let me open this up. Sitting this way, facing towards the center, okay? So that little curve is facing towards the center. When we flip everything towards the inside, we want everything to be facing that way. So here is my little 1/4 inch line. I'm going to place it right on top. Let me move this back some. Right on top of my welt, and I'm going to pin it in place, and then I'm going to mark my little lines where I'm going to turn. Now here's the thing. You want to make sure you want to make sure that you are pinning well, newbies. It pin very, very well. If you've done this before, then you don't really necessarily have to, you know, pin as well, go through all of that. But if you're first time brand new, use a lot of pins. Make sure that your fabric is not going to move. So I'm going to pin this side right here. My first little pin. Then I'm going to come pin down here. And because I have different fabrics underneath, I got to pick it up to make sure that I'm not grabbing the fabric underneath there. I want it right on that center dotted line. And I'm just going to pin it in place. Now, the other piece and my welt, I'm going to put it on the center line. I'm going to line my lining, pocket lining on top, and I'm going to mark my friction pin. I'm going to mark my turn. Okay, and then up here as well, I'm going to mark my turn on the outside of my lining so that I know where to turn for my box. And then it's also going to serve as a little guide to make sure I've got everything lined up the way I want it to be. This part here is going to be, like I said, the hardest part of doing this for newbies. And it really isn't that hard. Take your time. Don't rush. So I've got my lines lined up here. I got my lines lined up here, and I'm going to pin them in place. Making sure everything stays the way I want it. All right, so there's my first pin. Coming back on this other side, I'm going to line up this other side again. My newbies, do not be afraid to pin. Put a whole bunch of pins. And now I'm also this time using this lining that's very, very slippery, and it will move. And it'll move very easily too. So I'm going to end up pinning it back here as well, just so it stays on the fabric and don't do a whole bunch of moving. All right, I'm going to pin this middle part here as well. Actually, I want to pin the other way. And once you have it pinned, we can sew. So, okay, I don't like how this moved. So, I'm going to realign it. All right. All right, so I've got my lining pinned in place. And now we can sew around, the little box that you made and the 1/4 inch lines that you made. We're going to go ahead and follow our stitching line, even though you don't see mine. I'll draw it in. For my newbies that want to see it. You're just simply stitching 1/4 inch away from the edge. Really, that's all you're doing, okay? So we're going to go to the machine and we're going to go ahead and sew this down. Remember, everything is on the right side. We do not have anything on the wrong side. No pocket bag or anything like the instructions tell us to. Everything is on the right side. So we're going to go ahead and come over here to the machine. We are going to stitch all the way around. So as you are stitching, take your time. Do not rush. Make sure everything is flat and the way you want it to be. And then just simply follow your box. So I like to raise the presser foot and kind of look, bring my needle down a little bit and see where it is landing. If it is landing on the line that I want it on. And as soon as it is, then I will start sewing. And I kind of use this hand to keep everything flat. After you have sewn that first little portion, do your pivot, and you're simply sewing on your 1/4 inch line. No rush, take your time. Pull your pins out as you get to them. And remember, we are turning, we're pivoting on our little box, the line that we made for our box. Go slow, check and see if you are like directly on your line. And then pivot. Now we're coming back up the other side. Keeping everything in place. And then we finish and backstitch like regular. Cut your loose threads. And then we are going to open up our welt. All right, we're going to push this back. You want to get the iron ready. And we can take our pins out. And you see we've got our box. So we are going to cut open our little box here, slash and make some diagonals in the corner, and flip everything, pockets and everything, to the inside. So I just simply take the fabric and just bend it over. Like this, and just make a little snip in the middle. And then I'll just cut. I'm stopping a little ways. See where I stopped? Before I get to that, before I get to the top, so I can make a triangle. When you make the triangle, you want to use some really, really, really sharp scissors. So I'm going to switch and use my scissors that are a little sharper than these. I'm going to stop about right there. And now I'm going to make a little triangle from here where I stopped into the corner. Right smack dab in the corner, but not through the stitching. So you want to be careful not to go through the stitching line. You're simply making a little triangle like that. And then we're going to end up pushing that triangle and all the excess fabric through on the other side. And then the same thing on this side. I'm going to make a little triangle that way. And this way. To, but not through that stitching line. Now, we are going to take our pins out and everything to the inside. So take this lining piece, turn it all the way in. The little triangle, turn all the way in. And take this piece and our welt, and we're going to push everything, even this little piece down here. We're going to push all of that inside. So take that lining, push it all the way in. Down here on the other side, push it all the way in. And I'm separating those pieces, like, so the linings are split like that. Okay, cut this little loose thread. Oh, that's not loose thread. Okay, so see this part here? This needs to push all the way in. Okay. And then we need to give this a really good press. So on this side here, do you see our little welt piece, triangle pieces, all of that? Here's a triangle piece of the fabric right here. All of that we want to be on the inside, and we're going to press it in place. This fabric shreds a lot. Okay. We're going to end up pressing all that in place. Same thing on the other side. See that? Your welt is inside. The little triangles are here. Can you see that? Little triangles are here. You want all that on the wrong, like flipped in on the wrong side. Okay. Get that lining all the way in. See the little triangle hanging out there? We want to try to push that all the way in. And you'll have to push and pull and push and pull and push and pull to get it flat. And then we are going to press this. Again, the lining pieces are still separate, being pulled completely out the way. And then you're going to press. So now, one of the things that I will do, well, let's do a little press first. We'll do a little press first. Keeping that lining piece separate and open. We are going to start with this side. And we'll just give it a good press. This would be a good area. Did I use the wrong pen? Oh, it didn't disappear. Iron's not hot enough. Didn't disappear. I was going to say, what? All right. You want to give it a really, really good press. So here's one side, nice and flat, press down. Okay. And then this side here, I like to just try to pull the lining and everything out as far as possible. Press it in place, and then for my newbies, you want to pin it, because pinning it is going to help keep that lining flat and away towards the inside. So I'll do a little press like this, and then I will pin it, and then I'm going to flip it to the wrong side, press it again, just so that we get like a super nice, sharp press. And if you see those lining pieces, just pull them, flip it to the inside, flip to the inside like this, and just pull. Just pull on the lining. All right, so starting on this side, I'm going to pin this in place so that when we top stitch, it does not move. So I'm pinning kind of close to the edge, and you are going through the triangles, the end of the welt, like everything. Kind of going through all of that. Over here, for my newbies, over here on this side, the side up where your hand goes in, this opposite side, what you can do is pull the lining towards yourself, put a little pin. This will make your top stitching easier. Okay, put a little pin to help keep that lining on the inside, and as we start to top stitch, we will pull those pins out. So just go down, press, and pin it flat. All right, we're on the opposite side. See these little bubbles here? You want to pull those triangles and all that out of the way. Pull all that out of the way. And try to get it as flat as possible. And put a pin to hold it in place. I actually should have pinned the other way. So I'm going to flip it over. I don't want to burn my hand. Okay, so you see, you're just going to take the time to pull everything flat and then pin. Those triangles and everything out of the way. And then I like to press again, and then I'll flip it over and press too. When you flip it over, you want to make sure that your welt and those triangles and everything are on the outside, or inside rather. Turn in. You want them to be out here like this. And then I will press this as well so that all of this kind of stays flat as you're top stitching, and this will make it easier for you to top stitch. So now we're going to start right here. We're going to stitch close to the edge, pivot, go all the way around, go down, pivot, and just top stitch all the way around, again keeping the linings open and separate. The linings are split. Let me show you. See? Split, separate from each other. Okay? All right. So we're going to slide under the needle. I kind of will pull as I'm going. I'm going to pull this pin out, but because I'm going to use my finger to keep this section here flat the way I want it till I get my needle down there. Once it is the way I want it, needle flat, drop your presser foot forward, go slow, backwards. That's your back stitch. Pull that pin out so it's not in the way, but I'm going to keep my finger there so we don't have any issues. Okay, now we're down on this side. Needle down in fabric. Raise the presser foot. Let me see if I want to be right there. Yep. And so as we come up to each pin, just move it out the way. You can open your little welt just a little bit so that you don't stitch too much of it down. And you're just doing an edge stitch. Kind of pulling that lining to the back. Stitching slow. Okay, and so this is going to be one of the easy ways to do a welt for beginners. I'll put a tutorial, a quick, just a welt video that shows you another way that you can do your welt. Which includes using your lining as your welt piece. All right, so I've got the pin out, and I'm pulling underneath. I don't know if you can see. but I am pulling on that lining to keep it taut. I'm going to look and see if this is where I want to pivot. I think I'll take one more stitch. Now I will pivot. I'm going to come down. I'm using a different machine today. And I should have just pulled out my Bernina. This one is acting wonky. All right, so we have done our pivot. I'm going to put my hand underneath and pull that way on the lining so that everything is nice and flat. So I'm pushing the lining and that fabric. So we're coming back to the beginning. Here's our beginning right here. We're just going to backstitch. And I think I want to do one little small pivot just to make sure I caught everything. Okay. I'm going to cut threads. Okay. So now we're going to cut all of our loose threads. We'll push this back. We'll cut all of our loose threads. That part is actually okay because it's going to be caught in the pocket bag. Okay, so now let's press again. Before I flip that lining the other way, I'm just going to press nice and flat. But we are now going to take our pocket bags and push them towards center front. So we're just going to push them towards the center. And then we'll stitch around the pocket bags. And we're going to make sure that we catch those little triangle pieces and everything as we are stitching. Okay. This is a good place to use a clapper. Okay, a clapper is going to keep everything nice and flat as you are. Like, see how you press this? See how this is sitting open? If I had my clapper, when I press this and put the clapper on, it would sit like completely flat like that. All right. Flipping to the wrong side. We're going to pull the bags down together. I'm going to go ahead and press this as well. And then we're just going to stitch around. Let me move the iron out of the way. We're going to go ahead and just stitch around the pocket bag. So you will see now that the way that we have stitched this, that our pocket bags are shorter, but it doesn't really matter because all of this is going to be inside the lining. No one's going to see it. So I will just pin this here. Pin it right here on this side as well. Pin it on this side. Just so that they kind of stay in place. And so now we're going to go to the machine and we want to stitch. You see that lining? There's the triangles, like all of that. we're going to move this out the way, the main fabric out of the way, and we are going to stitch down and around, and the same thing on the other side. Okay, super easy, super easy. Matt started, he'll be here in a little bit. He started this on Saturday. We did it in person, and he was much happy. I'll have him share what he felt once he gets on. Okay, so we are just going to, you're going to feel and make sure that your main fabric is out of the way, and you're only sewing through that welt piece that's on the inside of the jacket and the triangles. For those of you that are like me, that you like everything to be extremely clean, this here will probably irk your nerves because the pieces are uneven. And unlike the last bomber that I did where I kind of serged the pocket lining, I didn't serge these because they really are hidden on the inside of the lining. Nobody's going to see it. But if it irks you the way it's uneven, just cut off the excess. So as we come up here to this section here, we're going to move all that out the way and just make sure we're only grabbing the outside welt and the triangle. But before we get up there, I kind of like to open and look. I like to open and look and make sure my welt is still sitting where it should sit on this side, making sure she's still behaving, sitting flat out the way. Nothing has shifted or changed. And then we can just sew down. Keep that main fabric out of the way. That's it. All right, now we're gonna press again. Our pocket bag is facing center front. Our pocket bag is facing center front. Our welt is here. Our little pocket is working, and we are simply going to give it another press. So this is an easy way to make the welt pocket. This is what I had Matt do on Saturday, and he felt better about his bomber. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and press it one more time from the back, pulling out the pins and the loose threads. Like I said, if that uneven bottom down here irks your nerves like it would me, just cut it off. But it really is hidden on the inside of the jacket, so nobody will see it. You won't even see it. All right, so this front welt piece is done. We've got both of our front pieces sewn now. We are going to put our fronts to the backs at the shoulder and the side seam. So I am going to unpin our back pattern piece, and I'm going to move the lining out of the way because we'll do the lining in a minute. Move the lining out of the way. Take the back. We're going to lay it right sides up, and we are simply going to pin front to back at the side seam. So now, make sure that you got your pieces laying the right way. So the armhole, if I turn this right side out, the armhole's on this side, so I know that this has to go on the right side. So I'll line up my shoulders like this and pin them. And then we're going to line up the side seams and pin it. We will sew using a 1/2 inch seam allowance down the side for both the front and the back. And there's some notches. I'll show you up close. Hold on. There's some notches that will line up on that side seam. So right here, see that notch right there and that notch right there? They line up. You know you've placed your pieces the correct way. Okay, that side is done. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Line up our shoulder, right sides together. And then line up our sides, and we'll sew straight down using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And those of you that are using a serger for this portion, 1/2 inch seam allowance still, and this will sew up even faster using a serger. I got my side seam. I can see my notches right here. See that notch right there? That notch right there. They're lining up. Yay. And then down here at the bottom. All right, now we're going to sew 1/2 inch seam allowance. Back stitch at the beginning and the end. Okay, cut your loose threads. We'll go across the top. And then you can cut these threads. Same thing on the other side. This fabric I have is actually upholstery fabric. So it is spraying quite a bit, but it's okay. Because again, all that will be under the lining. Won't even see it. All right, so main portion of the jacket is done. We are going to work now on the lining. Before we do, let's just press these seams open real quick. So we're going to put that loose thread. We're going to just open this up and we're just going to press this flat real quick. Press all your seams open. Then we'll work on the lining. That's Matt. Let's see.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, cool.
There he is. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Matt, I showed everybody the welt that we did, the easy way we did on
Yes,
Saturday. I told them that I'd have you tell them your thoughts as a newbie, like, you wanted,
yeah,
I explained how you wanted an easier way to do a welt. And so this is what we came up with in person Saturday. So
yeah,
tell them what you felt and your thoughts and
yeah.
if you
Because
like it.
whenever you were doing it the other way, everything was layered on top. And when you went to flip it inside to create the pocket, there was so much excess in the
Yeah,
seam. And whenever you would fold it under, it had nowhere to go but bulk up under the pocket. So you were stuck with big bumps pretty much under the
yeah,
pocket that you could not get rid of. And there was too much excess. So
yeah.
it,
He didn't like
I
it.
just,
And he was using a really nice wool too. He's using a nice wool.
yeah. So nothing would get rid of the bulk because there was so much excess past
Yeah,
the point of where we had cut and where we had sewed. So
yeah. So we came up with this way for Matt, which is, we didn't come up with this way. This is one of the ways to do
yeah,
a welt that's just easier. So it's not like I came up with it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
right.
we met in
We
person and
modified it a little bit.
yeah, we modified the pattern a bit to make it easier for newbies. Okay, so we are now getting ready to start our lining. Again, it's easy, and then we're going to attach the lining to our main jacket. So we've got those seams pressed open. Main jacket. Okay. Here's our front. Can y'all see that? Here's our front. All right. Put that out the way. So the lining, cut all these pins out. You see the lining piece? Perfect. You're gonna take I think it says side front, front facing. You're gonna take that front facing and you are going to put it on your front lining pieces, which are these. Number 3, your front lining pieces. So let's take the pins and the pattern piece off of this as well. Oops.
Oh, and
All
then
right.
also on this step, I was just gonna say for the newbie, if you were like me, don't freak out because one piece is straight, the other is curved. You do have to ease it around. I freaked out at first.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, one part is straight, one part is curved. This isn't gonna work. So it does work.
Yes. He was like, what is happening here?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
just
So
that
let's see.
perspective. It'll work out.
It will work out. Let's see what piece I have here. Make sure this is right. Yes. Okay. So I've got my lining piece that has the arm curve right here. And I've got my that front piece, and we're going to turn it right sides together. So the straight edge will be on the curved edge of the lining, okay? And there are going to be notches close that should match up. So we're going to pin. I start at the bottom and the bottom. That doesn't want to pin, must be dull. And then I'm going to come over here and pin the top. And I'll kind of show you in a second what it will do once you've sewn it and flipped it. Okay, so once you have sewn this and flipped it, it will sit like that. Your front piece will sit like this. Okay, that's how it's going to sit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pin the other one so we can just do one sew. You are sewing right sides together. So I will flip this way to make it easier for me to pin. We'll start up here at the top. Pin it. And because, no, I should be okay. If you have fabric that kind of looks the same, you know, your main fabric and your lining, you want to do that little flip I just showed you and make sure that you got the right pieces with the right side. There are notches that should line up, just like we did on the main body of the jacket, and we had that side seam notch. There are notches that should line up on this. Okay. I think I'm going to pin more because my lining is really slippery.
Yeah, I had the same. Mine was slippery.
Yeah, you got to add a lot of pins when it's real
Yep.
slippery. Okay, so this is ready to sew. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to sew both of these. We're going to sew both of these down using 1/2 inch seam allowance, just like before. Look, see how that's moving? I know I should have pinned it more and stopped playing with this fabric. All right, so 1/2 inch.
Oh, that's not your Bernie. I was like
Huh?
that. I
I
was like,
know,
that's
and you
not
know
your
what?
Bernie. I was like, am I blind? I mean, I do have bad eyes, but
No, Diamond is taking a rest today, but I shouldn't have let her
oh
because this is my,
yeah, back up.
what I work on so much for class. Yeah, it's what I use for class because sitting all day. Diamond's so
Yeah,
big that I just use this one in class because it's smaller and easier for like my online students to be able to see and all of that. and she must need a service because she's not even sewing
Oh
the best.
no.
She's like acting real, yeah, she acting real shady. And I'm looking at her stitches like, all right, you know what?
Mm-mm, no, ma'am.
Whatever. But yeah, she is I like I said, I use her. She's used a lot because she is my daytime, nighttime online student machine. So I probably just need to she probably just need a good service.
Yeah. Little tuna.
I changed her needles and everything, cleaned her out, but
She needs a spa day.
she's still yeah, she needs a spa day. And you know, the amount of classes and stuff I do in the daytime, she does put a lot of work in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and press this. And then we're gonna do our sleeve. So we are going to press this flat and then we're going to press our seams open, or press our seams open, then press it flat, whichever you prefer. I'm going to press the seam. Actually, do I want to press it open or do I want to press it to one side? Um, I'll press it to one side. I'll leave one. All right, so I am kind of pulling the lining away from me and then just pressing this flat and cut these loose threads. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Then we're going to attach this to the back and do the sleeve. So I'm kind of pulling the lining away and then pressing to one side. Okay, so now we are going to put this lining front to our back, lining piece, which is right here. Same thing that we did for the front pieces. We are laying it right sides together, pinning the shoulder and the side. So here's our shoulder, line it up, and we'll sew shoulder seam and then side seam. How was work, Matt?
Long.
Yeah,
Long.
for me too. My first online class on Fridays starts at 7 a.m.
Ooh, no thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It's so it makes for a very
Very long.
long, yeah, very long day. Long day. Okay, so actually want to pull this over more. Okay. We're gonna have to find some really good online fabric stores.
Yep.
I mean, we've got the district, the
Yeah, but
Fashion
it's just
Row, but
always hard to get over there.
I
Sometimes it's
know
hard.
it's so far. It's like
Yeah, because you have to carve out time. Like it's you can't just run
just
over
go,
and
yeah.
run back. Yeah.
it's so far. You gotta really plan it. So I don't know. I just hate that Joann's is gone. It's like, man.
Yeah, it was yeah, for me, it was
Ugh.
just like a go-to if I needed something quick, you know, like, or if I needed
Yep.
something to yep,
It was convenient. It was
and you didn't
quick.
have to take a journey, you know, like, and carve out, like
Time. Yeah. So and I don't like shopping online. I
yeah,
like to see the fabric, feel the fabric. I need to see
that's it,
the
all
true
that,
color
yeah,
of it. Like, yeah, all of that. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, ugh.
yeah,
But I mean, I definitely going downtown for denim because warehouse is going to definitely be my denim joint
yeah,
where I get my denim. But outside of that,
yeah,
I could
yeah, it's just like
I could
it's kinda
find stuff
weird
online.
too, 'cause you're gonna have to, like, experiment and order from certain
I
places, like, you know,
know. I
just, like, one
know.
piece to see how it is because there's no other way you're gonna know because you don't wanna make a big order and then it, like, all sucks, you know, like, ugh.
I know. I know. That's what sucks.
Yeah, because you don't know. You just don't know.
You just don't know. And everything really, outside of the blue bomber from last week, everything this week is out of my stash.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess luckily we've all kind of built up a stash, I guess.
Yeah,
Now we'll finally get to use it.
seriously. Now, what am I gonna do when it's
When we run
gone?
out though, yeah, is the
I know,
question.
I know. We're gonna have to go over to we're gonna have to take a trip to California and
Yeah,
do
I do wanna go.
fabric,
Yeah,
their
that
little
garment I
fabric
do wanna go to
district.
that garment
Yeah,
district thing.
it's fabulous. Oh gosh, so
I know,
good.
I've never been, but all the videos, I'm like, "Oh, it's so amazing."
It is so good. Like you totally need an extra suitcase, just a suitcase,
Oh,
nothing in
yeah.
it, just for fabric.
Usually if
And I
I'm
didn't
going
know
somewhere like that, I do
nothing.
bring an empty extra.
Yeah, I didn't know when I went. I was like, did I just drop the pen? Oh, let me see. Let me do this first. This isn't really lining up like I wanted to because this fabric is so shifty. Yeah, when I first went, I was like, oh my God. Of course I made it work, but I was just like,
Right.
whoa, 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 whoa. 'Cause I did not know. And I like because it was stuff that you didn't see here.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Some of the things, I had seen before, but a lot of it I was like, oh, never seen that.
Where have you been all my life?
Right? Prices were amazing. There was this one store that was like nothing but faux fur.
Ooh, Monica would go
Okay, I
crazy
did
in
get
there.
2 pins. Yeah, right? So we are still half inch seam allowance, side seams, and shoulder of our lining in preparation for adding it to the main jacket. Let me do the side. I dropped 2 pins, and you know how I feel about pins. When you drop a pin, you got to pick it up
Well,
because you will
you'll find
forget
it later in your foot.
in your foot. If you leave it, you will forget and you will step on it. And that will not be a good thing for you. Ask Monica.
Nope.
A whole surgery later.
Ooh, like,
YouTube, Twitch. Any questions for those who are watching? Those of you who are watching the replay, if you have any questions, you can email me or text me in the studio, and I will answer you and help you out. All right, so our side is done. We are going to start our sleeve. You can press these seams open. I'm going to also pick up this or press it to one side, whichever. I'm going to pick up these needles, these pins that I dropped. All right, press this real quick. And see how she's not even stitching properly. It's
uh-oh.
got some wonky stitches there. All right. Put that down real quick. Let's press that to one side. And do this one. All right, so we've got the lining done. I'm going to pick these pins up, and now we're going to do the sleeve. This is a two-part sleeve that she has. Lynn has on her pattern. Here's the lining. Move that out the way. He's going to slide. All right, Lynn has a two-part sleeve. So we will start with the main fabric, and then we will do the lining. And I am going to stop and pick up these pins as well. So this is the lower sleeve and it attaches to the upper sleeve. So lower sleeve, upper sleeve, and the way you pin them together, maybe I'll pin everything. I'll pin everything first. And then I'll just sew. That way it'll
Yeah,
be
I did that too. It
quicker.
was a lot easier.
Yeah. All right, so this is the upper sleeve. So we are going to lay this right side together. And what you're going to do is you are putting the pointy part, see this little pointy part of your upper sleeve with the pointy part of the lower sleeve. And you're just going to line those two pieces up like that. And then pin all the way down the side. And when we sew this, we are still using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. There's some notches that will line up. See those notches there? So there's some notches that will line up on here as well. I'm going to go ahead and pin this other side because like I said, we are going to end up just knocking it all out in sewing. So for the other side, this little flat edge here will line up with just that little flat part right there. Again, on this side, we've got a notch, 2 notches that are going to kind of match up. All right, one part of the main sleeve is done. We are going to put together the next main sleeve, the pointy part of the undersleeve to the little pointy part here of the upper sleeve. And then coming down here, lining up this bottom piece. For those of you that are watching the replay or even watching live and you want to learn to sew, but you are afraid, I got you. You can join our membership, learn to sew at your own pace. And it starts from the very beginning. So it's like for absolute beginners, teaching you the anatomy of the sewing machine, how to use it, how to sew a straight line, all the things.
And I can vouch she's an excellent teacher.
Thank you.
I
Yes,
have
I've had
followed you.
Matt
I've
for,
followed you what, like 5, 6 years? They're all
yeah, something like that. I've had Matt for a long, long time.
and you stuck.
I know that's right. I'm telling you, when you were sick, I was looking for you. I didn't even know. And I was like, where is Matt?
Dropped
What is
off.
happening?
I'm
What
back.
is happening? But thank God he is back.
Yes.
All right, so we've got the other main sleeve stitched or pinned and ready to stitch. I'm going to go ahead and pin the lining sleeves. So like I said, we're just going to end up sewing. And for those that are newbies, when you are sewing multiples of something and you do it all the same, way, that's called batch sewing. Like when you prep all of, let's say you were making 3 bombers for yourself and family members, or for, let's say, for clients. When you sew several areas or pieces at a time, meaning like we're going to sew all the sleeves. That's called batch sewing. We're going to sew all the sleeves for all 3 bombers. We're putting all the sleeves together for all 3 bombers. We're doing the lining for all 3 bombers. We're doing the front placket piece for all 3 bombers. That's batch sewing, and it kind of makes the process go a little faster than doing it one by one by one. Okay, this one side is done. And remember, if you are using super slippery lining like I am, you want to, especially if you're new, put a whole bunch of pins to keep it in place so that it doesn't slide all around on you. All right, one more to go, and we are ready to sew. Then we will attach the lining to our actual main fabric. I feel like some really good Cuban food.
Oh, that sounds so good. Oh, that does sound really good. Some last time I was at
Man,
Miami, I had like
that's
fufu, the fufu and all that stuff. Oh,
oh,
so good. Oh,
fufu. That's Haitian,
oh.
right?
They had like a Cuban
Huh?
version of it. They had a Cuban version of it too.
Oh, yeah, man. That's what I miss about home, the food.
Yep, and the fresh seafood.
Yep, man.
Not getting that here.
No, no, you're not. There is a that Cuban restaurant by next door to Urban Schools,
Oh,
um,
really?
Little Havana Cafe.
Is it good?
They're good, and guess what? The owner's from Miami.
Nice.
And I was like, ah, that's why.
That's yeah, legit.
Yeah, it's legit. Okay, we're gonna finish pinning this last side, and then we're gonna go ahead and start sewing 1/2 inch seam allowance. And we're gonna go straight through sewing both sides and then moving through to the rest of our um, sleeve pieces. We're gonna do this 4 times. All right. Sleeves are intact. Half inch, and let's knock them all out. All right, we got one side done. Let me cut the loose thread on this one. And then we will keep going. Next side. All right, sleeve 1 done. Cut the loose threads and jump to our next sleeve. Cutting loose threads and continuing on. All right, sleeve number 2 done. Sleeve number 3 in the works. After this, we will attach the sleeve to the jacket and then the lining sleeve to the lining piece.
Hi, Monica.
Monica on there. Oh, there's a message.
Yeah.
Hey, Monica. Bomber's going good. I showed everyone a different way, one of the easier ways to do a belt pocket, which is what I showed Matt in person on Saturday. And I adjusted the pattern pieces. I took 1 1/8 off of the welt pattern piece. I added a 1/2 inch to the template, and then I took off the portion of the pocket bag, and I kind of showed everybody that, and then we jumped in and started. We are doing the sleeve right now, and yeah, trucking along. I just thought about those pins. I'm looking like, did I put
You
those
still
back up?
haven't
I
got
didn't.
them? You no.
I'm gonna stop and get them. Cause see, you see how I forgot? Didn't I tell you?
I was like,
It's
you
just
still haven't got them?
it's just that easy to forget.
Man,
So this is the last sleeve, and on this other side, I will stop and get those pins. It's just that quick. I forgot.
safety first.
Right? Because the hospital's not open on Friday night.
Yeah, they are 24/7.
No, they're not. Not for me.
Well,
Hospital not open on Friday night, which means you can't have no kind of accident.
no, okay. You don't want that bill either.
Right? Okay. Oh, I'm almost out of thread.
Uh-oh. Don't be playing chicken with the bobbin.
All right. That's what I like about Diamond. She got those jumbo bobbins, and
Oh,
you could do
nice.
2 whole garments without having to change your bobbin.
Poor Diamond, you better get
All
her
right.
to the spot quick.
No, Diamond don't need the spot. This one here needs it.
Oh,
Diamond is
that
good.
one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just didn't pull her out because she's so big.
Yeah,
She's
she's
so
heavy.
yeah, she's heavy. All right, okay. Here are the pins. Ugh. All right, got them.
You
Got
need
them.
one of these
Okay,
little
so
thingy. You need one of these little things.
yeah,
Have you seen that? It's
girl.
like a magnet,
hmm And
and then
it
you just
scoops
like,
up
boop, it's
everything.
so great because I drop stuff all the time too. I'm like, oh,
Which is up here? Okay, that's the lining. So we'll start with the lining then. So to attach our sleeve, what we're going to do is pin the. We're doing the lining sleeve first. We are going to pin the sleeve and the garment right sides together. So I'm going to turn my sleeve right side out, right? And right in the middle here, I'm going to line up the bottom of my sleeve with the bottom of the arm on the jacket. So here's the seam of the jacket, the arm side. I'm going to put the uh, bottom of the sleeve. So here's the top right here. Here's the bottom, right sides together. Pin it in place. And then I'm going to flip this way so that the top of the sleeve, which has a little snippet in it right there, I'm going to line that up with the seam. Oop, I got hooked on my thing. I'm going to line that up with the seam. So the snip, the marking notch on the top of the sleeve, I'm lining up with the seam on the shoulder. Like that. I'm going to pin it together. This is all right side together. Then I'm going to come down here, and there's like a little section down here with little notches that I'm going to carefully ease in and line up because my fabric is so slippery that it will take like some adjustments. See that? You may have to adjust a little bit. You may have to pin and unpin a little bit, and it's perfectly fine if you do.
Yep, I had to do it several times. Don't worry.
Yep. So you see how this is not sitting like I want. I'm just going to readjust my pins as needed. Hang on, let me make sure I got this sitting the right way. You want to look at your oh, that's sitting on the side seam. Hold on. You want to look at your sleeve real good. This is why it's not sitting like I want, because it is actually sitting on a side seam. I don't want the side seam at this center back seam. I want the bottom notch. So that notch that's at the bottom of the sleeve, I want that on the side seam. And then this little extra seam where we attached the front and back upper and lower sleeves, those will also line up at a notch. So as you are pinning your sleeves, if something looks, stop like I did and reposition yourself. Look at it, see if you need to repin, and repin as many times as necessary.
It will take several. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah, don't be discouraged. It takes some time.
Because I had to do it several times.
Yeah. There was one point where Matt was like, I'm over it. I'm just done. And I'm like,
I'm
dude,
done.
you got it. You did one whole side. You got it. And
Had to
sometimes you just gotta walk
pull
away.
me back all the way together.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta walk away for a minute, take a breather.
Yep.
He was actually perfectly on track. It was actually correct, but it just didn't look like it. That's all.
Yeah. It was yeah.
But it was correct. And then again, this is a two-part sleeve. This sleeve is an
Yeah.
upper and lower sleeve, so it can look a little confusing.
Yes.
All right, so I got one sleeve in. I think I want to go ahead and pin the other side in just to have it in, or I don't know, maybe I should do one at a time with this lining, because this lining
Yeah,
is
because your fabric
so
is very slippery. Yeah. It might shift while you're doing the
yeah, I better do one at a time.
because I did have that problem with my lining too, because it was so slippery, it would shift a little bit.
Yeah, I'll do, I can do that on the other one, on the main fabric, but
Yeah.
I better do this lining one by one. All right, so I'm gonna take my little free arm off, and I'm gonna my, slip my, fabric onto the arm, and then we're just gonna sew all the way around, still using 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right. And I'm gonna be going rather slow on this one because like I said, my fabric is real slippery. And if you have a lining that's really, really slippery, you just want to make sure that everything is staying flat the way it needs to, and use a lot of pins. You can also use your fingers to make sure the fabric stays smooth. All right. One sleeve in, and we'll take a quick look at it. All right, let's take a quick look. All right, she's looking good. See
Yay.
that?
Oh, it does look good. Yeah.
Yeah, she's looking good. All right, one sleeve in. We are going to do the
Yay.
same exact thing
3 to
to
go.
the other line. Yeah, right, 3 to go. I'll turn this right side out, and then we will pin right side together. And then when we do the main, we can actually pin both of those at the same time because that's real thick. All
Yeah.
right, so we're going to take our, again, take your lining fabric right side out, okay, because you want your sleeves to be right sides together. And the notch, so this notch at the bottom of the sleeve, here's the 2 little side seams from where we connected the undersleeve to the upper sleeve. The notch at the bottom of the upper undersleeve, we are going to line up with the side seam of the jacket, okay, and put a pin. Now, I'm going to flip the jacket towards me so that I can line the sleeve cap to the shoulder seam. The sleeve cap also has a notch, and we're going to line that right up on the shoulder seam. And pin it in place. So now I'm going to come over here to the side and start matching up my sides. That little undersleeve side seam will match up to a notch. And then just go around towards that sleeve head and pin all the fabric together. Same thing on the other side. Any questions so far? YouTube, Twitch? Oh, he doesn't want a pen either. These blue pens don't pen well.
Uh-oh.
That just means they're dull. I need to
They're like, "Oh, yeah, you're like me, I have so many that are bent and old and"
yeah, just gotta get a new pack. All right, that side is done. We're gonna flip over. Same thing over here. Remember your sleeve is right side together. This is actually not bad. It's not even 9 yet. Close to it.
Much better than last week.
Yeah, it's much better than last week. That's why we had to do a do-over. Okay, so I see I have a little bit of a pucker down here that I want to get rid of. So what I'm going to do is take that pin out and ease my fabric with my fingers. I'm going to ease my fabric with my fingers till I get it smooth, and then repin. There, ta-da! All right, we are ready to sew.
Woohoo.
Have a good night, Monica.
Bye, Monica. Have a safe trip. Be good.
All right. So I'm starting at the bottom seam. Right there, a 1/2 inch. And you can see how my edges on this fabric don't stay lined up. And I'm not using a walking foot either to keep the top and the bottom moving evenly. So the edges are moving. We're going to see if this is going to be a problem because they're moving a lot on this sleeve.
Uh-oh. You
Yeah,
got it. You got it.
I got it. Let's see if I can keep it kind of smooth without any major puckers or issues. I think that is a pucker. All right, I got it. Glad I saw it and caught it. All right, we're gonna see.
It's gonna be perfect. I just know
It's gonna be perfect. Perfect. All right, let's see. Nope.
Oh,
Nope. She looks good here, but look what we have. Da da da.
row.
I caught it. Um,
My favorite thing to see and do. I do it all the time.
I caught it right here. Okay, so this is not a big deal. If that happens to you, let me show you what to do. All we're gonna do, super easy. I caught, remember I just said, I think I see a pucker and I put my fingers in
Yep,
there. So we're just gonna take out this part and release the part of the fabric that we caught that we shouldn't have, and then sew back. That's it. Really easy fix. See that? So that part of the fabric that we caught, we were
nice.
not supposed to catch, and we're just taking it out. That's it. Super easy. Okay, it is out. Look, ta-da! And now all we're gonna do is lay
Next,
this flat underneath, stitch right back over it. So we're gonna start a little ways up, forward, back stitch. We are going to make sure everything is smooth. Back stitch. And we will check it now and see what it's looking like.
da,
Should
da, da,
be
da.
good. Da, 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 da. And ta-da! We fixed it.
Perfection.
Okay, so we fixed it.
Yay.
All right. So this is where we have the pucker. See the little line? That's where we have the pucker. So got that all nice and fixed. Now, lining has sleeves. We are going to put the main jacket sleeves together. We'll pin both of these because this fabric is thick, so shouldn't shift or move on us. We are
That's
doing the
quilted,
same
right?
thing.
That's like a quilted
Yeah.
fabric, right? Mm.
This is an upholstery fabric actually.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
I
So
like upholstery fabric.
again, you like upholstery fabric?
Well, yeah, well, for bags and stuff, yeah. But as a jacket, it would work too, I think.
So here's our little notch on the lower sleeve. We're matching it up to the side seam, right sides together. And then I'm going to flip the jacket towards me on the inside so that I can line up right sides together, the top of the sleeve with the shoulder seam. The top of the sleeve has a notch in it somewhere. I have got to find it. Where's my notch? Oh, don't tell me that I do
Oof,
not have the notch on the top of the sleeve. Oh,
don't
there
do
it
a
is.
Mac.
Hard to see.
No,
No, there it
it does
is.
get lost kinda in translation up there.
Yeah. And then, sometimes, well, I cut through the lining and this main fabric all at the same time. So
Oh,
sometimes when
it
you're
didn't
cutting
cut
through,
all the
oh,
way.
yeah, a lot, it doesn't go through all the way. All right, so there's that. And we're just going to line up our bottom and sides. And this is so thick, we'll be able to do the other side as well. So we can just sew the other sleeve. So we can just sew. All right, this side done. We're going to flip over, do this side. And then we'll do our other sleeve. Then we will attach the lining to the jacket. No, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're going to
A
put
collar, a collar.
our collar and our waistband.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. This sleeve is done. I want to go ahead and put the other sleeve on so that we can just sew. Same thing. We're going to put the bottom of the undersleeve, that notch. Turn the sleeve right side out. Line that notch up with the side seam on the sleeve. Can you see that? Yes. All right. Line that notch up with the side seam on the sleeve. And then I'm going to turn it towards me so that I can line up the notch on the top of the sleeve cap to that shoulder seam. So I got to find it. There it is. I'm going to line that up to the shoulder seam pin. And then go ahead and get those sides pinned down. Each side of the sleeve. And we will put our collar and our waistband on the main, this part of the jacket.
Yeah.
All right.
That's really. I gotta go grab my zipper. I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. Take your
I
time.
forgot to put it with my stuff. I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Okay. All right, so we've got this part in. We're going to go ahead and stitch up the sleeves. All right. 1/2 inch. There we go. I'm almost out of thread. All right. One more sleeve to go. Let me look at this bobbin. Do I think I'm gonna make it? I think I can make it.
Through
Think
the
I can
whole
make
rest of
it.
the jacket? Or just
No, through the
wow,
sleeve.
for the sleeve? Okay, I was like, whoop.
No, I can make it through the sleeve. Oh, I think I'm hooked on. There we go. Ooh. Okie dokie. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the outside of the sleeve real quick and then add our collar and waistband and wind some more thread on our bobbin. Okay, so let's take a look and make sure she is sitting nicely. Yay. All right, that side is looking good and this side is looking good. All right.
Look nice.
All right, here we go. So now we are going to, we need to sew our placket to our waistband. So let's grab our waistband and our placket piece. So our placket piece looks like this. And our waistband is like this. And we are going to take our placket and our waistband. We are sewing right sides together. So we're just lining our placket and waistband up like this. And we're going to attach it. I'll have to cut off some of this excess on the bottom from my placket. So placket pieces are right sides together. And I will cut off that excess after we sew it. Okay, we are sewing 1/2 inch allowance. There they are. Will I make it for this one? Yep. I think I can do it. I think I can do
Living
it.
dangerously.
Yes, I'm living on the edge. It's Friday night. All right, let's see if I make it. No, I didn't make it. Look, I stopped right here. Oh, that's funny. I got close. All right. Let's let's go ahead and
Wind that up.
wind it up real quick. Let's wind it up real quick. I think that's enough. All right. All right, so I'm going to restitch the area that ran out. And then we are going to pin this to the bottom of our jacket.
Okay. Are we doing that first or the collar?
Which one you want to do first? You want to do the collar?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I was making sure.
Um, we could pin the collar in place if you want.
Okay, I got mine pinned down.
Okay, so to pin the collar in place, we're going to fold the collar in half. Where's my little scissors? My plackets are longer than my ribbing. So I'm going to just cut off this little bottom edge just to kind of even it up a bit like that. Okay, so even those little bottom edges up. Okay, and so we can put this to the side and look at our collar. So now the collar, we are going to fold in half. So my collar has an obvious right and wrong side. Okay, so right sides to get wrong sides together. We're going to fold the collar in half like this and give it a press. Oh, my iron isn't hot. Still not really that hot. It's getting there. So you give it a press, wrong sides together. You just fold the collar in half. Okay, and then we're going to pin the collar upside down like this on the main jacket. So you grab your main jacket and you have it with here is the front. So you see the back is towards me. The front is towards away from you. Um, lay it flat on your table. Okay. You're going to have a notch right here on either side of that front panel. You want to line up the edge, your little point, you want to line that point up by that notch area. Okay. And then put a pin. So you're really going to be lining up the raw edges. Okay. Oh, this looks mad. This looks like it's not stretching enough. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I had to
Oh,
stretch mine a little bit too. I was like, yeah.
you got to be kidding. I might have to use the gray.
Oh,
Oh, which is no big deal. It's not a big deal, but I mean,
yeah. You would think the ribbing would stretch.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able. Well,
Huh?
yeah. It looks like it's gonna be hard for you to get it all the way across. I was just trying to look to see.
Yep. It is not going to stretch all the
No,
way.
and then that's gonna pull. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I got so close. Nope. Let me see. Let me see
it
if I just
might.
let's just see. Let's because
It might.
sometimes you can pull, pull, pull. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me just see. If not, oh, I'll do this part tomorrow night. But let's just see if I can make it just I have to put a lot of pins though. I might be able to make it, Matt.
It looks like you
We'll see
can.
though.
I keep seeing it, you stretch it. I'm like, I think you can too.
Well, I may just
But that's a lot of stretch. Yeah,
yeah, I might just stretch it because this fabric here is so thick. Like I
this,
said, it's upholstery.
yeah.
I might just stretch it to show you and finish, and then I'll take it out later, Sunday or so,
Redo.
and change it. Yeah, that's not gonna stretch.
Uh-uh.
Okay, I'm gonna walk you through it anyway,
Okay.
and then yeah, that ain't gonna stretch. I'll redo it. I'll take it out and do it over. Okay, so you're gonna pin your collar like this, right?
Okay.
Um, raw edges lined up flat.
Are you going back online tomorrow night or no?
Not if I can show you this now.
Oh,
I was gonna go back tomorrow night and just, you know, use the gray, cut this out, use the gray.
Yeah.
But if I can stretch this enough just to show you, get it so you can
Yeah.
get it done, then I'll do this. I'll put the gray in offline. Okay, so
Okay.
all right, so you've got your ribbing pin flat, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's pinned like this on
To the
your,
front. Yep.
yep, to your
To the
bomber.
right
Now
side
we're
of
going
it.
to take right side, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the folded edge is facing down like this because after we sew it, the folded edge
Gonna
comes up like that.
flip it. Yeah.
After we add
Hmm.
the lining. So the
Yeah.
raw edges are all like that, okay? Folded
Facing up.
edge is facing down.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, you take your whoops, waistband, and
Okay.
you're going to put your waistband
Okay.
right sides together
Okay.
to the bottom of your jacket, okay?
Okay.
So, and you want to make sure that your stripes are, oh, you don't have stripes. You're using that burgundy, that pretty
The
burgundy.
wool. Oh, yeah, my
Yeah.
no, it's also it's a solid color.
Okay, so I'm gonna push this up and out the way. You want your right side. So
Okay.
plaque it with the edge of the front. Yep, like this. You're at the bottom of your jacket. And you are gonna pin across the bottom. And if you want to turn it upside down, Matt, you can. So look, if you flip the bomber upside down so that the bottom of the bomber is up facing you, it'll be easier to pin across the bottom like this. So this is the bottom of
Ah.
the bomber.
Okay.
Okay, so turn it upside down to be easier to pin. You're going to
Okay.
pin all the way across.
So just line up this placket edge with the edge of the jacket.
Yep, on each
Cool.
side. Yep. And then just go ahead and pin that fabric in the middle
Okay.
and all the way across. And then we're going to sew all the way across.
Okay. And it's flipped up. Yeah, not facing down.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. It's right sides together. And then sew right across that bottom edge, 1/2 inch seam allowance.
Okay. Should I sew the collar too at the same time or
The collar is actually sandwiched in between the
oh so we're
lining.
not sewing it yet. Okay, cool.
So yeah, we're not
Okay,
sewing it
cool.
yet. We got to put this band on first and then we will add the
I got it.
lining. Okay. Whoops. All right, you got it attached?
I just got it pinned. I have a lot of excess, so I'm gonna have to like stretch and so I'm trying to get it, make sure I have it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give it a whirl now and try to sew it. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. All right. So that is there. Matt, did you attach your cuffs yet?
Huh?
Did you attach your cuffs yet?
I did not attach them, but I have them sewed and
You have them
turned
sewn
the
in.
right
Okay. Okay. No
turn. I just
worries.
haven't put them on the sleeve.
Okay. You go ahead and do that bottom. I'm going to catch up to your sleeve.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
for your cuffs, you're going to take your cuff pieces, lay them right sides together like this. And then you are sewing right down this little triangular piece right sides together. I mean, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Make sure YouTube, you subscribe, turn on notifications so you see anytime I am live and doing any of our free sew-alongs, free tutorials, making garments. Do the same thing to your other sleeve, cuff. And after you have sewn the cuff, cut all your loose threads, you are going to take your cuff and bring them up towards each other piece here. So you've got this tube. You're going to just fold it in half like this. Okay. Bring the raw edges up to one another like that. Okay. And then just kind of like smooth it out until your raw edges are nice, and then we can attach it to our sleeve. And this is barely stretching. All right, there's one. Take your next cuff. Again, you are going to open up the little tube that you just created and bring everything up like this. Raw edges now touching each other. Okay, and so it looks like that. So here's the folded edge, and here are the raw edges. And we will attach this to the sleeve. I'll flip one. Okay, so here is our shoulder seam. You take your time, Matt, because I'll show you
Okay.
on the other one. Here's
Yeah,
your
sorry.
shoulder seam. No, you're fine. Don't rush. Shoulder seam. And here's the top of your, so your undersleeve has these two side seams. I like for the seam to be on the underside. So you slip your, nope. I want to make sure that when I turn this right side up, nope, it's not going to be. Let me see, when I turn this right side up, yes. So I was right the first time. You want that seam to be on the underside so that when you turn it right side up, it will be on the bottom of the sleeve. Now, again, I will probably end up having to change my ribbing because this isn't stretching enough to go around, but you will sit your cuff on your sleeve with the raw edges all touching and lined up. Yeah, this isn't stretching enough, so I'll have to take this apart. So let me put this on a basting stitch so I can easily pull these stitches and stuff out to redo it. So your raw edges are going to line up, and then you will stitch with a 1/2 inch seam allowance around both sides or the entire circumference of the cuff.
Ooh, I did it. Yay.
Yay!
I made it work.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay! All
Okay,
right,
sorry,
so let
where
me
are
show
we?
you. You're fine. Let me show you how to do your cuff. So what you're going to do is you are pinning your cuff to your sleeve. Now, again, my cuff isn't really stretching, so
Okay.
I'll end up having to do mine over. But for you, you want to have the seam of your cuff
Okay.
on the bottom or, the undersleeve.
Oh, the bottom part of the sleeve. Okay.
Yeah, so that when you flip the cuff right side up, it is that seam is on the bottom. So,
Okay.
hang on, I'll show you. Okay, so it's gonna end up looking like this. The fold of the sleeve towards the shoulder, and then the raw edges, and your raw edges aren't gonna be bunched up like this. It's because my fabric isn't stretching. Yours is gonna end up looking like that. So on the other side, let me show you on the other sleeve. So here's your sleeve. Um, Here is the shoulder seam, and here's the shoulder seam. Okay. So here is the top of the sleeve, and the under seam is right here. You want this to be towards the bottom.
Facing the floor. Okay, yeah, got it. So underarm, kind of under the arm. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then you're gonna slide it onto the sleeve, and then
So
you're just gonna pin the raw edges.
slide it on top of the
Uh,
sleeve. Okay.
Yep. And then you're gonna pin the all the way around.
Cool.
And you should be able to stretch nicely
Yeah.
and pin.
Okay.
It should pin real nice and easy for you. Not all hard and difficult like mine.
Mm. Don't say that yet. And you're doing both at the same time, right? Both sleeves.
Yeah,
Okay,
uh-huh.
cool.
DJ Junior C, if you are watching on YouTube, thanks for the follow. After you have pinned all the way around, Matt, you are going to take it to the machine. When I did this blue one,
Uh-huh.
I was able to stretch it right on top of my take the sleeve arm off and put it
Oh,
right on
yay.
top.
Okay.
This here is not going to do that. So, I'm going to
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
on that
stitch it another
machine?
way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this ribbing is not going to do that. It's not going to stretch at all. So I'll have to put it inside and sew around. But if yours will fit on the outside, just
I
put it
think so. I
out,
might
put it
it'll
on,
I'll have to stretch it out, but it'll fit, I think.
and you're still doing half inch.
One on.
After you have stitched all the way around, you can flip it, pull it right side, pull your cuff down. And push those raw edges in towards the inside. And then you'll see that your seam is on the bottom towards the inside. And your cuff will look like this. And do that to both sides. Questions, YouTube, Twitch? Anybody got any questions? A good sewing machine for starters. A good sewing machine for starter, it depends on your budget. I personally like the Burnett sewing machines. You'd have to find a Bernina dealer in your area. So if you went to Bernina.com, put in your zip code, found a dealer near you, you could find they would have like Burnett machines. Those are good starter machines, good for beginners. And then it just depends on your budget. They have some as low as like $300 on up to $25,000. And if you are in Texas, your rocking bobbin and garland will let you sit on the machines, play on the machines, all of those things. Um, take it for a test drive, the whole shebang. Um, Normally, wherever you are, they will let you test it. But I mean, if they don't, you know, but Burnett's are really, really good machines. And like I said, they have them all kinds of all range of prices. Um, they're just a good quality machine. Let me tell you, when you are new to sewing, you want to have a good machine, DJ Junior C. You want to have a good machine because when I first started sewing, I was using Singer. The new Singers jam a lot, a lot. A lot of my students that use the Singers get frustrated because they jam so much. It's like you can't eat out it constantly jamming. So I do not recommend, excuse me, Singer. The new ones. The older ones, the vintage ones, those are still good. Like the ones your grandma used, your great grandma, those are good. But the new Singers that are out, I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't recommend it. Don't even do it because they just jam too much. You will end up buying a new machine. So just start off with something that is good quality because a machine that's not good will make you feel like you can't sew and it's not you, it's the machine. Okay. So you want to start out with a good quality machine. I like Burnett. I like Burnett for beginners. Another one that's pretty decent for beginners. It's a lower quality, but it is pretty good for beginners is Brother. So if your budget is not like $300, $200, you want to go lower, I would go a Brother sewing machine. The only issue is that Brother may not, depending on the model, go through thicker fabrics. Like this upholstery fabric I'm using, it may give you a hard time. So it just depends on the machine. The Brother CSI 6000 or CSI 7000 is really good. And then for Burnett, any of the Burnett's, the '05 Academy, the smaller '05 Academy. My daughter uses Burnett B77 right here. Um, there's a B79 if you want to get into embroidery. But if you're just trying to do regular sewing, B77 is good. The Academy '05 is good. The Burnett Crafter is good. The Burnett, there's one right after that. I forget the number. All of them are good. And I teach students on all of them. When I go into the shop and teach inside the shop, I teach students on all of them. So that's my recommendation. Any other questions? How's it coming, Matt?
I'm almost done with the last.
Good. And it's looking like this?
The first one did. We're fixing to see the second one.
Okay. Good.
And yeah.
Yay! All right. So now we can attach our lining. So you have your jacket right side up and your collar is, up facing you. You're going to take your lining.
Oh, do we flip I'll leave the collar as it is facing down. Okay.
Yeah. Leave
All
the
right.
collar facing down.
Yeah.
take your lining and you want to line the lining right side together with the um main fabric. So you see the outside of the lining is like this. And if
Okay.
you look on the second screen, I'm laying it right sides together on top of the main fabric. So this is what you're going to do. Take the main fabric sleeve, push it inside the lining sleeve. Okay? Push the main fabric sleeve. So let me show you. I'm pulling the lining sleeve so that it is wrong side out. Lining
Okay.
sleeve is wrong side out,
And I'm
and
putting it
I'm
over
taking
the putting it over this sleeve.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yep. So that sleeve goes inside.
And the wrong side will be outside. Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
right. The wrong side is on the outside. So let me do the other one. After you've done that, you are going to now start lining up the edge of your little neckband. The back of the lining is going to line up to the edge of the raw edge of the main. And your collar is going to be sandwiched in between. I am going to move this collar over.
Okay, so put the lining over the collar or no?
Yeah, I'm actually moving this collar over because it was sitting too low. You don't want that collar point to really sit too far past um the little notch because then it'll show on the outside. So I'm just kind of sliding it over just in the event that when I sew this, I can make it work.
Oh, okay, wait, hang on. So the collar will disappear in the lining, right? I won't see it.
Yes, you're not going to see the collar. The collar is going to be
Okay,
hidden,
cool.
sandwiched in between your lining. So when you
Okay,
look at the neck area, all you're going to see is the front and the back, the main fabric,
okay,
and then your lining fabric. That's all you're going to see. The collar is going to be hidden
okay,
in between.
okay. So I kind of need to repin it together. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how to.
that's kind of what I'm doing to uh, my collar as well. Oh, I just lost my pen. Oh, there it is.
How to.
All right. So I got it repinned. Now you're going to take the lining and line up the edge of the lining with the edge of, the edge of the neckband with the edge of the lining, the top part of the lining. and then pin everything in place. And you see that that lining is sandwiched in between the front and the back.
You mean the collar?
Yeah, the collar
Oh, okay.
is sorry, the collar is sandwiched in between
I
the
was like, hold up.
main fabric and the lining. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was making sure.
I'm still sitting here trying to make this
Oh, the collar
non-stretching
stretch.
ribbing work. Yep. I started to just do another black and white originally, like
Mhm.
this one. But then I was like, oh, I don't want to the
Is
same.
it just that material
So
that's
let
not
me do something
stretchy? Is
different.
that what it is?
Yeah, it's the material. Yep.
Okay.
And it stretches quite a bit when it's not, um, when before not in this position, it's stretched, but it's not stretching as much as
You need
that
it to.
striped. Yeah. After you've gotten your collar, your collar pinned, you're going to go ahead and sew it down.
Okay.
When you're going to finish your jeans,
Hopefully soon.
you you need help?
I probably do. I'm all the way up to the zipper install.
Mm,
So but I haven't sewn the front to the back yet or fitted or anything. So yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
definitely have to change this up.
I thought that.
I was still hopeful. All right, you getting it pinned?
Yeah, I kind of messed up the end, but I gotta redo it. But I'm almost to the
Okay.
wait.
Yeah, this is going to be. I hate that I got this. I chose this. Should have went with the gray because that has more stretch. Oh well. Oh well. I'll have puckering in this lining just because of my collar not or my my collar ribbing not being the stretch that it needs to. But you shouldn't. Yours should be nice and flat. I'm going to pull when sewing, but it's not going to help much. And we will still be doing 1/2 inch seam allowance. So when you finish pinning, Matt, go ahead and sew it down.
Okay.
And really, after this, we're almost done. Oh, you know what we forgot to do, Matt? We forgot to leave an opening in the sleeve. Did you leave
Oh,
an
I
opening in your
did.
sleeve?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Then I'll just open one sleeve up because after this, we're pretty much done.
I'm having to stretch mine too at the end just a little bit.
You are.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to open up one of the lining sleeves because I forgot we need it to be open. That's how we pull the jacket right side out. So we need to leave a portion open. So I'm just going to unpick a portion of the sleeve so that we can turn it right side out.
Think I got it down now. Phew.
Okay.
So just stitch it all
So
the way
I'm
across.
just opening up. Stitch it all the way across the top.
Okay.
1/2 inch allowance. And I'm just opening up my sleeve. Okay. All right. Open. This is how we turn the jacket right side out through this open. Trying to get your daughters into it. Oh, nice. Nice. How old are your daughters? Ten and 16. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. You all right, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just going slow because it's like bulky, and I think I'm gonna do it. I
Yeah.
think I'm.
DJ, you can check out my membership for your daughters. $15 a month, and they can learn at their own pace. So take a look at that. If you're interested in that. It's www.thecbsacademy.com. And it'll start them from the beginning, take them through all of the steps that they need to know about a sewing machine. All right. Got that. Next, we're going to attach the lining to the bottom, or attach the lining at the bottom rather. So when you take your jacket, the lining, you will pull the lining down to the bottom like this. So make the bottoms line up and then pin them. So the lining is matching up all the way to the placket, and the lining is matching up to the waistband at the bottom.
Ooh. Okay, sorry. Where? What, should I flip it out to make sure it's okay, or?
You're okay.
Or no?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and lift your lining up and look at your collar and make sure it's all right.
Oh, no, it's not.
What happened? What did it
I'm
do?
trying to see, it might just be that I have, like, a whole piece that's out over here and over here too, the
Oh,
edge
okay.
slipped
No
or
worries.
something, so Imma have to yeah.
That's okay. I'll help you, and I can help you
Oh,
out
yeah,
spoon
yeah,
too.
it's fine,
So I got you. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and unpick it.
yeah.
Everybody else, you will line up your lining with your waistband. Make sure you look at it, Matt, from the right side so you can see what area needs to be pushed in further,
Yeah.
deeper.
Should I unpick the whole thing or just the parts that are
I would just pick
okay,
the area that's out.
the 2 edges, cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah, just pick the area that's out. And we can. Are you busy
Huh?
tomorrow?
Oh, sorry.
Are you busy
I
tomorrow
get off
then?
work at 6. After that, I have nothing.
Okay. Unpick it and then we
Okay.
can get back on tomorrow night. I'm good. I am good. Okay, so then I will just do this, pin this lining to the bottom. So, and we'll stop here and then we'll come back tomorrow night. So, DJ, you got to come back and hang out with us tomorrow night. You're going to put your lining down to the bottom waistband piece and pin it in place. And then you're going to sew 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I will stop right at this portion so that we can get Matt all fixed and caught up. And then we'll come back tomorrow night.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
We will
see. Yeah,
do,
it shouldn't be that hard of a fix. It's just I think it might have slipped when I sewed the
yeah,
edge. It's just the edges, the middle and everything is perfect, like,
yeah.
I
So
think
it's an easy
well,
fix.
yeah, yeah,
We will get Matt all caught up and then we will come back tomorrow. We're really pretty much at the end, seriously. So
yeah.
we'll get
Sorry.
him caught up and then we will. No, 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 you're fine. I mean, Friday night is for sewing. You are
Right?
absolutely fine. And as we know, mistakes happen, little,
Yeah.
little, little things happen, especially during a live show. I've said it 100 times.
Yep.
It happens. So
Yeah.
no big
Not a
deal.
bad yeah, not a bad thing.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. YouTube,
Thank
Twitch,
you.
DJ, thank you for the follow. Thank you for hanging out. We will be back tomorrow night. We're going to get Matt fixed and caught up,
Yep.
and then we will be back tomorrow night. And we'll continue. So make sure, those of you that are watching the replay, make sure that you go ahead and get your lining, pull your lining down to the very bottom of your waistband, pin it in place, sew it with the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then stop right there. And we will see you tomorrow night as we continue and finish. There's not much left to do at this point. We're going to
No.
end up folding it up, turning it right side out. Matt and I are going to put a zipper in. And we're done, really. So
Yep.
we're kind of veering off the pattern. The pattern calls for buttons or snaps. I don't want buttons or snaps, so I'm going to do a zipper. All right, so we'll veer off the pattern just a little bit, and install a zipper, and really that's it. And it looks like this. So here is what I made last week. We're making the same exact thing. Okay. All right, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central.
Bye.
Tomorrow night, DJ, if you're available. Bye.